What's your question?
So I want to know if what's my dominant authority or my guiding light, because I'm a sacral being, but I do have these root and solar plexus defined. So I want to know which one should I follow, and my solar plexus has a lot of gates defined as well.
Okay. Okay.
And
Great.
I also
So
want to use my chart. All right.
wait, did you have another part of your
All right.
question? Was there
Yeah,
another part of your question, or is
I'm
it
also
mostly about
seeking to
authority?
use my human design to use it for a business strategy, because on the creative side, I really characteristics, but
Yeah, you're breaking up a
mostly about
little.
authority.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay. Yeah, you're breaking up there
Uh,
for a little bit, Burn. So it's a little hard for me to say. But let's talk about this authority piece.
okay.
Okay. So
All right.
all generators, their primary authority is sacral.
Okay.
All generators, their primary authority is sacral. Okay. So my recommendation is that you really get to know your sacral and that you prioritize that.
Okay.
Emotional authority basically just means that you need to give yourself time to make good decisions and you need to take account of your emotional wave. I have multiple videos about the distinction between these different kinds of authorities. So I would suggest you go and check those out because they're going to go in a lot more detail than I'm going to have to do right here. But the main thing is that when you're emotionally defined, you're going to have a wave, right? You're going to feel more up and more in a state of possibility and a more positive attitude and have more energy at certain times. And at other times, you're going to feel a little lower, not have as much energy, and feel like, maybe you just don't want to engage with things as much. And so when you're going to make a decision, which is what your authority is for, you want to pay attention to what's going on with your wave. Because a lot of times I've heard from people, I'm not personally emotionally defined. So I haven't, I mean, I've made decisions I regretted later, but it wasn't because of my emotional wave in this sense.
Okay.
So, but a lot of times people do feel, they will make decisions emotionally and then they'll regret them later. Have you ever had that happen for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah. So what you want to be able to do is give yourself enough time to go through your wave and be asking your sacral at multiple times along your wave if something is right for you or not.
Okay.
Okay. But it's not that you want to make your decisions emotionally, because sometimes people are emotionally defined. They have emotional authority. They think that that means they have to use their emotions when it's actually just the opposite. The op-
Okay.
the opposite is you don't want to make decisions emotionally. You want to find a way to be like, okay, I'm having a consistent yes, regardless of how my emotional wave is. And
Hmm.
anything other than a consistent yes is a no.
I see. All right.
Okay. And then just regarding the speediness, I mean, it's a little bit mixed in terms of having emotional definition does mean that you need more time to make decisions. Um, and so that might feel to you like you're slower. But I'll tell you, I've known plenty of manifesting generators with a 3420 who were emotionally defined, who were very, very fast people. And I actually had to coach them to slow down so that they could give themselves time to make good decisions. So I mean, my point is just that it's not an automatic. And it might just be more your personality. It might just be more a character of who you are, right? That you like to have more time, and that you're not a super speedy person, and that's okay, right? Because you don't, again, remember, we're always going to run anything we learn about these things through our own system and not feel like we have to fit into what somebody else says that who we are. Is that
All right.
helpful to you? Is that answering your question?
Yes, yes, very much. So it's kind of like working with my sacral and my solar plexus in tandem.
Yeah, exactly. And
All
your
right.
root is not an authority. So
Okay.
the root is never an authority. I mean, the only time the root is an authority is for a manifester, where the energy goes through the spleen to the throat, and then you get a manifester who has kind of weak manifesting energy because it's coming from the weakest motor and it's going through the spleen. And so a lot of times it picks up fear and it goes to the throat. But otherwise, the root in general is not considered an authority except in that situation. It could be that way for a manifesting generator also, but it's definitely not the case for you, because you've got a sacral, which is going to be your primary authority. You've got the emotional solar plexus. They're all connected to each other, but the sacral is the one that goes directly to the throat. So that's going to be your primary authority.
I see. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome.